Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. I've been thinking about the best target market initially for the Tesla robot, and before it was more a cliche of a robot made to do your chores, but we do already have robot vacuums, and a cleaner once a week is relatively inexpensive compared to, say, a $30,000 robot, and I've come to the decision that the best initial application could be to help the elderly. Remember, we have the baby boomers who are all aging and entering their 70s. Whilst they're still fairly capable, it won't be long until they could do with some assistance. Things get harder. A robot could help them up if necessary. It could remind them to take their medication. If they fall over, there is someone there to help them get up, or can even order an ambulance if necessary. They can tidy the house for them, clean, maybe cook, go shopping, walk their dog, do all sorts of various chores. And if they are widows, then either offer them some companionship. They would likely be able to hold a conversation. Baby boomers also have the majority of the money and could easily justify an expense like this. A robot for these applications would presumably be easier to train than many other jobs. It would be more like a care worker, and the cost of the parts of the actual robot aren't going to be too crazy, in that Tesla could sell them at an affordable enough price and still make a profit. I know a lot of people like to think they'll be around $10,000, but that still feels cheap to me, but perhaps $20,000 to $30,000, and Tesla profit maybe $10,000 per robot. But the thing is, I don't think Tesla want to sell robots for $30,000 if they're capable of replacing jobs that are worth $50,000 a year or significantly more. Perhaps it will depend on how many Tesla can produce. It's going to be a significantly easier product to manufacture than a car, so perhaps it won't be long until they're producing tens of millions of them a year. And there should be basic enough jobs that they shouldn't have too much trouble replacing initially, something like working in a fulfillment center or Amazon warehouse, ironically. Would Jeff Bezos actually order other robots is another question. But I'm sure Walmart wouldn't hesitate. If Walmart had robots and Tesla autonomous semi-trucks, then that would give them a highly competitive advantage on cost savings against Amazon, when compared to Amazon's Rivian-based electric vans that require a human driver. So if there is sufficient enough supply, then how will Tesla be able to sell a commercial version compared to a domestic version? Would it just be certain training applications you install? Like you want it to learn how to build a wall, you pay $100 perhaps, then your robot can build a wall. Then there are builders training these robots on how to build a wall, similar to an app store. They're trained like a human, so there'll be no code or anything, and you can't train it to throw bricks at people when building a wall, as it would go against its protocol. But then there may be a market where people rent out a robot that has all this training software installed, and it comes to your house and build the wall, plaster it, and paint it, and you simply pay a one-off rental fee rather than paying for all the software on your own robot. The economics could go in all sorts of directions. But this app store or training store should be open to the free market for the best results, just like our phones. I mean, imagine a world if Apple made all the apps on the phone. It would be pretty boring. So maybe anyone can train a robot to do something. Perhaps you have to verify your credentials first, like your building qualification or degree from Harvard Medical School. Then a user would look through various different training apps. They can review the credentials of the person who trained it, read reviews and ratings, and decide to train their robot with this app. They then pay for it, Tesla take their commission, and then the trainer receives money for training the robot for this application. So Gordon Ramsay can teach the robot how to cook perhaps, or maybe just how to cook particular meals. You like the sound of one of them, and then you buy that recipe, and your robot can forever cook that meal for you. Presumably we can plug data into the robot too, rather than it just having to read or watch lectures. Perhaps this knowledge from a book can be downloaded digitally into their brains instead. So if it wanted to learn law, finance or something, almost instantly it could just consume hundreds or thousands of books on the subject. Then you have your own legal advisor or personal financial advisor. The more I think about it, the more the application potential seems endless. I keep separating the robots into domestic and commercial, and perhaps if you use the robot for commercial purposes, then you purchase a different license for the apps. For example, if you install the training app to paint a house for your own personal domestic robot, then your robot can paint your house, but if you own a building company and also paid for the same app, then this robot would be painting houses for profit. In other words, the commercial robot could replace a painter at $50,000 a year or so, whereas your domestic robot paints some walls and saves you having to hire a painter for $10,000. Either way, there's a lot more value in the commercial training version. This way, Tesla does receive a base rate for the robot and then ongoing income for other various knowledge sets and upgrades. Or perhaps there is a commercial version of the robot you have to buy to accept the commercial licenses. A commercial version for $100,000 and a domestic version for $30,000. How the hardware in them would differ, I'm not sure. It may just be the same robot with limited licenses. Same for a restaurant. If you train your chef with all of Gordon Ramsay's recipes, then you can effectively offer his cuisine and profit from it, compared to your domestic robot cooking just your meals. On the other hand, would there still be any point in going out to restaurants if you can cook just as good at home? Well, I guess there's still the social aspect, so possibly, but there'll be lots of other things that we currently do that robots could replace for us, and that we simply do at home with our robot, or our robot can physically go out and do for us. The economic impact of this is almost unlimited. The leverage it will create in our lives is hard to get our heads around. This is Tesla and Elon Musk, though, that come out with outlandish claims. I mean, look how soon we were meant to have robotaxis. We're still likely years from that, and we haven't seen Cybertruck in production yet either. However, we did witness Elon Musk's other companies land rockets. So if anyone can achieve these claims, this is probably the company. I know we're a long way from all of this, but you'll be surprised how fast even 10 years can go by. The iPhone has been out for 14 years now. It will likely take time, but you have to start somewhere. So many futuristic science fiction movies and novels depict our future with self-driving electric cars and humanoid robots. These are not products you can simply just make. They have to start somewhere and evolve. And perhaps by the time baby boomers are in their 80s, then these robots might actually be able to fully take care of their needs. I'm sure they'll likely feel more dignified having a robot look after them than a human too. But for Tesla's first version, they do have to make it suitable for some sort of application that is of value to a market. The robots won't make it solely as a novelty item. And I'm starting to think the most basic function for it could be something along the lines of warehousing. Sure, they're only replacing minimum wage jobs at $7 an hour or so, but in a warehouse, they can work 24 hours 7 days a week, excluding charging time. According to the specification, the robots are capable of lifting 150 pounds and carrying 45 pounds. This is also suitable for working in a warehouse. This could be a cost saving of around $1,000 a week if it replaces staff. Of course, they would in essence have a shared photographic memory of where absolutely everything in a warehouse is stored, and would likely work a lot more efficient than a human. Companies could justify $100,000 for such a tool. It could also do inventory checks and reorder when necessary. So I think these might be the bare minimum level of application that these robots need to offer first in order to enter the market from the commercial perspective and the domestic level. The addressable market is enormous. Perhaps we're talking about 10 million robot sales a year, and as time goes on, they'll be suited for more applications, and thus the demand will remain strong. At $10,000 profit per robot, then we're talking about $100 billion a year of gross profit, plus the ongoing apps income. And yes, obviously it makes sense to take these robots to Mars and do so much more than a human can in developing the colony without risking human lives so much. It seems everything Tesla make is also suitable for Mars. Maybe Elon is just funding the research and development of his Mars projects through the free market offering value to consumers with products they want. Governments could also have robots to maintain cities and keep them clean and tidy too. It shouldn't be too difficult for robots to be picking up garbage. One day humanoid robots are inevitable, but they have to start somewhere. And sure, it may not be available in 2 years, and we may not see the first one available for even 5 years or longer. But I feel like arguing against timelines is almost splitting hairs. The fact there will be a humanoid robot coming to fruition is the important part. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.